Well, what's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and for those of you that don't already know, yesterday at D23 Expo, they released two new trailers for Kingdom Hearts, which included the official new song for Kingdom Hearts 3, as well as a new gameplay trailer, which is pretty much showing a lot of the new features that we'll be introducing to the game that's coming out later this year. Now, before I begin to my thoughts, I just want to let you guys know that for the most part, I absolutely loved and enjoyed everything that we were shown yesterday. There was only two things that I heard and saw that I'm just, at this point in time, not a big fan of, but hopefully maybe this might be something that they might improve on. So I'm going to start off with the two things I didn't like. For starters, I know that us Kingdom Hearts fans have been asking for a new song for so many years. We've been sticking with Simple and Clear and Sanctuary for like well over a decade now. But I've heard this new song and I'm not sure what it sounds like in Japanese, but I heard it in English and I'm going to state right now, I don't like it. It's not that I don't overall like the song. It's just something about it sounds off. I don't know if the lyrics are too slow or the beats are off. It just something about it, it's not syncing up properly. So I'm not sure if this is the full song. Maybe this is just an early version of it. Hopefully maybe when we see it in context with like the official opening for Kingdom Hearts 3, it'll sound better. But as it stands right now, I just am not a fan of the song. I'm just hoping that it can be fixed before this game is released later on this year. The second thing I didn't like seeing is I'm not a big fan of Riku's new look. Now, Riku is a pretty damn cool character, and I absolutely enjoyed his overall design in Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1. Dream Drop Distance, yeah, I'm a little bit in the middle with that, but in terms of his design in this trailer, or one of the two trailers that was released, I'm just not a big fan of it, because overall it makes him look like Noct here, but with like light purple hair. And I kind of like my characters to have distinctive looks that don't make them seem similar to other characters, which, you know, may or may not appear. We don't know, because at this point, as far as I'm concerned, we have not seen a single Final Fantasy character, which has me a bit concerned. Those are just the two things that I didn't like seeing. So going into the primary trailer, it pretty much starts off with apparently the return of the primary antagonist from Chain of Memories. I can't remember what his name is, but I never forget an asshole with hair like that. And basically he's just talking about apparently the new organization. So apparently there's remnants of Organization 13 that have either returned or starting up a new organization, and they're back, and I guess they have some sort of beef with Sora, which obviously makes sense because Sora pretty much kicked most of their asses. So I'm excited to see where that goes. Next, we pretty much saw a lot of 3 worlds that have been confirmed before, but they introduced a new one, and that is the Monsters Incorporated world, which looks absolutely fantastic. They also showed a bit of the Toy Story world and a bit of the Tangled world. And I have to say, these worlds, these maps look massive. I mean, I would say the biggest difference for me, at least, that makes Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 distinctive from each other is the size of their worlds and the combat system. I've always said that Kingdom Hearts 1 storyline is shorter, but the gameplay draws the game out longer than it actually is. And with Kingdom Hearts, sorry, someone's just coming in the garage. And for Kingdom Hearts 2, the game is longer, but because the battle system and combat system and gameplay is much faster, it allows you to go through the worlds like very, very quickly. And it seems like they are taking that element and they are just cranking it up to 11. These worlds are big, the combat is fast, there's just tons of interactions everywhere, and I'm loving it. However, when it comes to the gameplay, the biggest surprise that I did not even expect is the addition of having not just 2, but 4 allies. Usually, up until this point, we've always had to choose between either having Donald and Goofy in our party and then having to replace them with a primary ally for that particular world. But in this one, they let you have access to all of them. So let's say in the Toy Story world, you will have Donald, Goofy, Buzz, and Woody at one time. With Monsters Incorporated, you will have Donald and Goofy and Sully and Mike Wazowski. I did not see that coming. That makes me incredibly excited, because that tells me that if they're going to give us all of these allies at once, meaning there's 5 of us fighting together, it means that the number of enemies that I'm expecting to encounter throughout any of these worlds better be cranked up to a high level. I don't want to just run into 5 or 6 enemies. I would be okay with running into, say, 10, 15, even 20 enemies at a time. Because if there's 5 of us, that doesn't seem like we're going to have an issue dealing with that many enemies. And it seems like the enemy variety has also gone back to the original of sticking simply to Heartless. And that's the way I like it. I mean, it's cool. It's always cool fighting Heartless, and it was also cool fighting Nobodies in Kingdom Hearts 2, but after that they threw in these new enemy varieties and I just wasn't a fan of them. So going back to simply Heartless makes me very happy. Another thing that also they showed a lot of is a lot of environmental interactions, especially in the Monsters Incorporated world, where basically there are just so many things that you can interact with that can be used as weapons. It's crazy. It's just a sign of that they are definitely cranking up the gameplay style to a whole nother level, to something we've never experienced before, and I'm pumped up to see it. And the fact that they're adding all these special attacks, apparently they're bringing back summonings which have always been present. I mean, they just showed this one shot where Sora was apparently calling Ariel, who hasn't aged for some reason, but you know, maybe that's just a just a tiny little nitpick. But I guess Disney characters don't age that much. But there are just a ton of just over-the-top special attacks, just all over the place. So if they're gonna give us all these options, including bigger environments, more allies, more environmental interactions, and all these just over-the-top special attacks, I'll tell you this much: I will be playing when this game eventually comes out, hopefully later this year. The first time I play this, I will be sure to play it on the hardest difficulty, which I'm guessing will be Proud mode, because it seems like the challenge factor is gonna have to be cranked up to a whole nother level. And if they pull that off, then Kingdom Hearts 3, just like, in my opinion, to some extent Final Fantasy 15, might have been well worth the wait. My biggest concern about this game overall is not so much the gameplay, which from what I have seen, I'm impressed with, I'm cool with it. I can't wait to get my hands on it and try it out for myself. It's the story. As it stands right now, I'm in a very, very bad position with the story. Outside of Kingdom Hearts' 1, Chain of Memories, 2, and I guess most of Birth by Sleep, I have no idea what is going on in the current state of Kingdom Hearts, so I'm not even sure what to expect. I could not finish Dream Drop Distance. I don't know what the hell Recoded is. I wasn't a big fan of Birth by Sleep, it's like 0.8. I wasn't a big fan of that. So I'm just hoping that even from this overwhelming, just convoluted mess of a plot that Kingdom Hearts has devolved into, that this final entry, apparently in the, I guess some people call it like Sora, or they call it the Xehanort Saga, I'm hoping that they can somehow simplify it in a way that gives us a satisfying conclusion. And as a story-driven gamer, that is all I want for Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't mind if they want to make Kingdom Hearts games after that don't involve the characters that we have come to know for all these years, but I would just like the story to go back to a much more simpler form. That way it's easier to simply pick up and follow through. But those are just my thoughts on the 2 trailers that came out for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'd like to know, what are your guys' thoughts? What were some things that you saw that you were really excited for, and what are some of your concerns? Share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And if you like this video, feel free to like, subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Twitter and friend me on Facebook with the links in the description down below to keep track of me in my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.